So, can I start?
Anybody can start.
Uh, Good evening. I am Shabam Maheshwari, and I will say advertising has become an integral part of modern life, influencing consumer behavior, business strategies, and even cultural norms. I would say advertising has helped in economic growth. It boosts consumer spending, which drives economic growth. It also helps businesses reach wider audiences, increasing their profitability and creating job opportunities.
I agree with that. In fact, I believe that advertising can also help improve the image of a company if they advertise themselves as a company that is very socially responsible. For example, people tend to appreciate that, and especially in a world of social media, building a name is very difficult. But advertisement campaigns, if run properly, can actually help doing that.
Adding to that, from the consumer point of view, the consumer also gets to know about all the variety of products which the market has to offer, the pro points of different products. They can compare and contrast what they would like. They have a wider range of choice.
Yeah, totally. I feel advertisements in a bigger picture leave an impact on the consumer that is not left by any other means. We all remember ads we used to watch in our childhoods on the television sets still now, I feel. And that just shows the legacy these ads create through the advertisements, where a lot of these ads use a lot of music and imagery, emotions to connect with their audiences, to connect with the masses, to appeal to people as well. And I think a lot of us have been in our lives inspired or moved by ads in such a way that we want that product because it had such a great advertisement in any form.
That being said, I also think that we have to be cautious of advertisements a little because there is a chance that they tend to create misinformation, as we've seen with this one very big Ayurvedic brand where they claimed to cure a lot of diseases. I don't want to name brands per se, but I remember that it had become they had very big endorsements. A lot of people fell for it as also, especially during the pandemic, but it had very detrimental effects on people's health. So taking advertisements with a pinch of salt is also very important, in my opinion.
Yes, I feel that is the bane part of advertisements. I'm sorry, where as you even mentioned, I feel even somewhat around 10 years back, a mobile phone company had launched itself, claiming to be made in India and sell phones at a very cheap price. And a lot of people from our country had fallen into the scam, thinking it's a sense of patriotism for them to own a cheap mobile phone made in our country for our people. And that company just ran away with all the money under the false pretext of advertising under patriotism. I also feel advertisements in that sense could sway people's emotions and mentality as well, where people would be called either anti national or anti patriotic if they do not align with some advertisements' goals, which normally masses think of being something patriotic.
Yeah, that way the advertisement can actually back like backfire for the company itself because if it's not socially acceptable, if they portray something, say for example, if they portray something along the lines of women working in the household, it would actually backfire against them in this era of gender equality.
That and a lot of times, companies might choose brand ambassadors who are very popular among the masses. People start buying the products because of the representative, despite the product being subpar. We've seen this happen before. People buying just because of the face of the company and being completely disappointed by what was promised. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee of quality.
Also, we get to see many manipulative tactics. Like I wouldn't name the company, but they had an advertisement, or they just created a post where the CEO said that you pay us this amount and we'll give you 1 year working. But then they means another day they told that you don't need to pay such amount. It was just an advertisement. You just need to pay this amount to buy a subscription.
Yeah, they can actually create a lot of panic as well. I remember there was a television show that had put up posters of a missing girl a few years back, which across the city, which had actually created panic as to who this person is and whether there is actually a missing girl. And later out, it turned out to be an advertisement for a TV show. I felt that that was not ethically correct, even though it did create a lot of buzz. So the ethical aspect of advertisements is also something that is a questionable aspect.
Another example of this happened recently. An actress pretended that she was dead on social media and then came back a few days later and said that it was supposed to be a social awareness ad. Again, mass hysteria, panic, to play with people's emotions just to promote whatever your cause is, irrespective of how noble or good your cause is.
Yeah, we notice a lot of these brands spend a lot of their investment money into advertisements, which definitely shows us that ads do play a big picture in their revenue model, or ads are something which are used for their customer attraction. But at the same time, as Snigdha said, the ethical aspect of it is something which is not really considered. Most of the ads do get a backlash as well, but if they are in the wrong, but they do generate the buzz which was needed by the company at the end of the day.
That being said, when we say that companies tend to invest a lot in their advertisements, maybe there could be a better allocation of resources on the company's front as well, because a lot, especially in this era where we have YouTube and Instagram that do not need a lot of investment in terms of advertisements, maybe instead of spending them on big public figures and brand ambassadors, if they make an impactful advertisement and use the other resources into actually building a better product, that would be more beneficial for the company and for the end consumers in the longer run.
But if it's working for the masses and the company is showing numbers for that as well, I feel they would continue with that only. And again, it shows us the picture where we see that people get swayed by advertisements a lot. Even if the money could have gone into the better development of a product, they would rather pay a big celebrity for it and expect big numbers coming in, which does so happen more than often.
Yeah, I'm saying that these days for advertisements, I don't think a big celebrity is essential for them to be impactful. Even a good melody in the background running or a good tagline is sufficient to create an impact. Instead of using that money on a big name, using that for anything else actually, whether it's to build a better product for any socially responsible act that the company wants to do, I think that would be a better use of their resources. An advertisement is important, I agree, but spending a lot of your revenue on it, I'm not sure if it is actually prudent on the part of the company.
Most companies usually spend so much because they have historically seen the impact these advertisements can make. Uh, One of the best examples is about the Air Jordans by Nike. Just because Air Jordans were associated with Michael Jordan, they have seen the kind of impact it has had. And there are various examples where associating your product with a very known face gives you very visible short term results, which is probably, according to me, the rationale behind companies spending so much on these faces. I get the short, long term thing, but long term, you can't be very sure when you're going to see the results, how well the results are going to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
totally. Even in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the self-esteem is stated up, which shows that people do want to be associated with brands which advertise themselves as luxury. The manufacturing cost for a luxury brand compared to a very tier three brand is almost the same, but the price for which it's quoted at is astronomically different. But people still pay the amount, those who can pay, to be associated with the brand, to show others that this advertisement leads them to being someone of an upper league, or upper basically someone of an upper status.
But if you go to look at advertisements of real luxury brands, like the extremely high-end luxury brands, they don't usually spend money on celebrities. They hire models and they showcase their product more than they actually spend money on celebrities. That's what at least I have seen. If you go for something like a Versace or a Gucci, how often have you seen a proper brand endorsement in terms of a celebrity, other than probably a photo op here or there, which they would anyway pay for while going for events?
Yeah, that is their advertising model at the end of the day, because they know they don't cater to the masses. You would run a television ad for a product which comes under the 100 to 1, which comes under a low price point to the masses, which a lot of people can buy. But products like Gucci and Louis Vuitton, as you mentioned, these aren't products which the masses have to buy. But the advertisements, yeah, I agree, the campaigns. But I also feel another thing that we should talk about is our privacy on these topics. As I feel a lot of you all might have noticed, when you talk about some product or something which you wanna buy, you start getting those ads on your Instagram feed or YouTube shorts about the same products, which I feel is an invasion of our privacy at the same time, but no one's really questioning, battling an eyelid on this. Even Apple recently claimed a lawsuit that Siri hears conversations, and they paid the compensation to a lot of people for that. But there was no big action from the masses taken against it.
I
This
think.
is something I've noted.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No. Oh. So, as you said, this is something I've seen a lot. Not text, irrespective of what kind of app you're texting on, even though they claim that they don't, uh, even if you select the option to not share information, there is somehow information on this. The privacy thing is a very big thing, and people do realize it, but nobody's really doing anything. Spoken to so many friends. All of us have joked about it. All of us have discussed about it, but there's nothing actually which is happening.
I think while people are concerned about their privacy, it is also turned into sort of a convenience where you don't have to actually go ahead and look for products separately when it's just put in front of you, when you know when the algorithm understands what you want. I know it is not right, but the reason why people are probably not going against it is because it has become a part and parcel of their life that they have accepted.
But that does work for your products which you would like. But what if some sensitive or private information is being used, such as your hospital bills, hospital claims, your medical conditions? Would you or anybody else per se be willing to share that also for advertisements for in the name of convenience?
No, no, I completely agree with the fact that the invasion of privacy is real and it is not ethical. But the question came up that no one is actually doing anything about it. The reason why no one is doing anything about it, in my opinion, is because they've accepted that it is something that is a matter of convenience. Because uh, AI in general has become such an integral part of our life that we tend to not question it too much and fear of losing it.
We're taking this point. So another uh, thing I've seen a lot. Everybody's applying for colleges exams right now. Probably all our inboxes are filled with advertisement of colleges. These are not most of these are not sites colleges we have applied to. This is our data being sold. This is something now we don't even know how to stop it. I get it. Algorithm, we are used to it. It's a point of convenience. But the spam mails in my email, they are not. I am not giving them my data. These are institutes, examination centers. I don't know who exactly is giving it. But again, another form of invasion of privacy. And this time, you don't even know how to stop it, because it's not like while you're applying for your exams or forms, it's not like you can avoid giving the data there. But what happens to your data after that? That is completely out of your control.
Yeah, so a lot of information actually probably goes to them through the cookies that we accept when we visit websites. And there's obviously a lot of data mining that does happen. But yeah, it is a form of using artificial intelligence and using your personal information for bringing forward your product is, I won't say ethical, but it is sometimes effective as a form of advertisement, because you do get swayed when you're in For example, if I were in a situation where I hadn't gotten calls from any in this aspect as well, if I hadn't gotten calls from any college, and if I was in that state where I don't know what to do with my future, and suddenly this one mail pops up saying that we have an opening and you can apply, it will give me a gleam of hope, and I will ultimately pay money to them. So even though it is, again, I'm not defending them in any form, but I am saying it is something that is working for them.
Coming back to the topic, I do feel advertisements is still the strongest form of marketing done for any product, whether it's consumer based or organization based. But at the same time, I feel there should be stricter norms in charge to keep these under control and not mislead the customer's trust.
Okay, let's stop here. Sneha, please summarize the discussion.
Yeah, hi. So, in summary, of course, advertising can be considered both a boon and a bane. It is a boon because it's the strongest form of actually building brand awareness, communicating your products, informing customers about them, and also fostering competition in a way, right? So people see other brands and then they try to mimic or they try to make their businesses stand out or compete in the market. But that said, it can also be a bane in the sense that you can manipulate consumer behavior. It can also create a negative social impact when used in the wrong way, right? So the concern of all your ads being ethical in a sense, so that in addition you can have false claims, right? In ads you do not know if ads are portraying any misleading information about the products that can deceive consumers. So in short, it is, in my opinion, it is more of a boon than a bane, but of course if used in a wrong way it can be harmful to all of us.
Okay, Shubham, please summarize.
Yes, we were talking on the topic advertisement. Is it boon or bane? So we came across various topics like it creates job opportunity, then it boosts consumer spending, then it also creates consumer awareness. Then we also came in the topic that there is a privacy concern between the consumer, like what we are thinking, sorry, what we are speaking, we get such type of ads, but it also creates convenience for the consumer, like they get the advertisement of the product they were thinking about, or what they were speaking about. Also, it encourages creativity. It there are also public awareness campaigns. Then many sorry, many of the companies also use many manipulative tactics. But in the end, I would say that it totally depends upon the viewer. Like, it is the advertisement really effective for them? Like, they're getting any I mean, it means advertisement effectiveness depends totally on the viewer.
Okay, fine. I think you covered most of the points here. So basically, I don't have much to add. But I think the data privacy thing, how is it related to advertising? The data is being stolen because of what you are doing. Then how is it connected
No,
with
sir. They,
advertising?
if you talk about something like you tell your friend that you want shoes, you want to buy shoes or something, so you start getting ads from those particular shoes brands and stuff for that shoes on your feed on whichever app you're using. So they're basically advertisers are using they hear your overhear your normal conversations and direct you ads without your permission.
That is that is marketers, na, not advertisers. Advertisers, they
But no,
go
they
for
run
sold.
advertisements on that, na sir.
They run advertisements. That's fine. But data privacy, is it directly related to this topic? I mean, we are talking of advertisements, whether they are good or bad.
Like I
Be-
brought it up as a negative side of advertisements. That's why I said it, but maybe it's not a part.
But you can bring this discussion in this topic, but it should not be a lengthy discussion because what you talked about was more to do with data privacy than advertising. People using
Oh,
your data and then
yeah, yeah. Yes,
targeting
sir.
you, that is something different. from advertising as we know it. But yes, it is connected, but not in
Or
the way that it was discussed. You didn't discuss, you could have named brands, when you are discussing these kind of topics. Almost all of you said, I don't want to name the brand, but you can name it. There's no harm in it. You did not discuss surrogate ads like cigarette ads or alcohol ads, which happens in India. And surrogate advertising is when you are saying that you are selling water, but actually you are selling alcohol, or you are showing a glamorized version of something and it's for a brand, but again you are showing it as a perfume brand or something like that. That you could have discussed, that was not discussed. Apart from that, I think most of it was discussed. And some of, a little bit about mature advertising in terms of ads being shown unrelated to the product and how it affects the children, that could have been discussed. That part was missed out, I think. How some ads with more or less adult content is being shown on television or on social media and how it impacts the children, that could have been discussed a little bit. Apart from that, I think it was a decent discussion. Sneha, what kept you quiet? Why were you quiet? Why did you not participate?
Um, Partly because I've not done this sort of a discussion before, and also because I don't know, it was just feeling too fast paced.
Okay, okay, fine. I understand that fully, but this is only our third class, so you need not be feeling left out. And Shubham, you started off as if you had studied this subject sometime in your graduation. So you spoke for half a minute or 1 minute and then you were out of the discussion. That doesn't help you. Okay. When you are having a discussion on topic or a case, you should be speaking at least 3 times. Once in the beginning, speaking meaning that you are being heard at that time for half a minute to 1 minute is sufficient. 2 minutes would be very good for each entry. So you should make sure that you speak once in the beginning, once towards the middle of the discussion, and once when you are finding that the discussion is coming to an end or a conclusion, then you should be trying to conclude or trying to sort of summarize what all has been discussed. So don't don't participate as if you have certain things to say and you've said it and now you are sitting back quietly. It has to be interactive. You have to react also to what other people are saying. Think of it as a meeting where you are discussing
okay,
some
sir.
issue.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? More or less, you
Sir,
have seen that. Hmm.
I just wanted to ask, are normal group discussions as civil as we do it here?
Nowadays they are, because nowadays many institutes don't have group discussions, because earlier it used to be very hot. Discussions would be very loud and sometimes they have to be stopped. But I don't know what was the purpose of those discussions, because it didn't serve any purpose as far as I think. So that is why many institutes don't have group discussions. Why we are having these discussions is because mostly you are reluctant to write essays on topics. So once you
Mhm.
have a discussion, then you have some idea of the topic. The other thing is, once you have the discussion, keep a separate notebook for all the discussions you are having so that you can go over it. Because by the end of this, you would have done maybe 50 to 100 topics, discussed 50 to 100 topics. So you would have forgotten many of those. So if you have a summary of the topics with you, then go over it before you go for the actual interview. It would be
Okay,
like
sir.
revision notes for you. So try to make notes. What you can
Yes, sir.
also do is that to practice the returnability part, uh, we had 2 discussions today, so you can sort of write a synopsis of the discussion and post it in the Facebook group, and I will evaluate it, and others can also comment on that. That will help you with your VAT.
Okay,
VAT
sir.
is something important which you should be practicing because that also has certain weightage, right? So
Yes,
don't
sir.
ignore that.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts or questions? I think the participation has been decent. Um, you will feel at times that you wanted to say something, but somebody else butted in. So let them butt in, or very civilly to say, let me complete. Then people generally keep quiet. You don't have to sort of say it very deeply. Okay. Any questions or doubts on this? Not the topic, but the way that these are done. If not, then let's meet again tomorrow. Our normal time would be around 8:45 to 9 we start. I'll inform you in advance. Will that be okay for all of you? 8:45 to 9 if we start and end it by 10:30.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's meet tomorrow around 9 then.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
you, sir.
sir.